Can you say corporate synergy without saying corporate synergy? TMNT X Naruto and Spider-Man and Ultraman. Two things that I would never see crossover, but here we are. Now, on paper, or rather these pictures, it doesn't seem that bad, and the idea seems solid enough that you can probably get some bank on this, and if the story's well written enough, it can be kind of interesting. Truly and honestly though, this screams corporate synergy, and I wouldn't say desperate, but definitely an attempt at just trying to make some easy money with some easy similarities or easy marketability. Now, truly and honestly, I'm not a big fan of a lot of crossovers. It kind of depends on what it is. I'm not going to front. I do fucks around with the Power Ranger Ninja Turtles ones, especially from way back in the day when Power Rangers in Space. Yes, that is the best Power Rangers. Mighty Morphin is up there. Power Rangers Space is the shit. I think it's Andros killed Zordon. Anywho, I don't think crossovers are the worst. I do think Turtles and Batman was a good idea, even if the Turtles kind of look a little like jobbers in comparison to Batman, but I am debatable, but I don't think they're the worst thing. But these are ones that kind of scream like money, 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 right? And it's kind of not a bad thing in some realms, but creatively speaking, it just seems like it could be kind of boring. Not even so much boring, but kind of dumb. Because as you can see from these Naruto pics, they're using young Naruto, if you will. I mean, Naruto's young in general, but they're using the beginning kind of era of Naruto when they were still ninjas, so to speak, right? And with Ultraman and Spider-Man, I think that's just kind of a play on that Spider-Man robot mech that there's like a video or meme about that shit. And that's kind of all this really is. It's kind of like, hey, they're ninjas, let's put them together. Hey, there was a Spider-Man robot, let's put him together. And in some ways, sure, that can kind of work, but to me, this again screams more corporate synergy in an attempt to keep either comic books or American entertainment relevant with what is the new hotness. And while manga and anime isn't really that new, it is the hotness that everybody is fucking around with nowadays in comparison to comic books. So on the one hand, I don't hate it, and I understand it in a survival sense and a marketability sense, but in particular with Naruto and the Turtles here, I am a fan of both. More so the Turtles than Naruto. I kind of stopped reading after like the first arc, and my homies kind of filled me in on what was good with Shippuden. Now, obviously they're not touching the Shippuden era, but even in just regular Naruto era, like the problem in my opinion is the fact that power scaling is just not where it needs to be. Like I don't want the Turtles to be jobbers for Naruto and them. There's a high probability that they're going to be fighting alongside each other, and you might get to see the Turtles do some sick new moves that, they weren't doing before. But sometimes when it comes to crossovers, and generally speaking, I think when it comes to crossovers, you always want to see the main leads kind of fight and whatnot. That is the draw and the appeal to that. The problem here is you can't really do that without kind of either handicapping the Turtles or handicapping Naruto and them. And truly, by the fact that they're using like the beginning era of Naruto and them, they're going to be slightly handicapped in what they can do. Like, I doubt we'll be seeing a fucking Rasengan, you know what I mean? That being said, like, I feel like while it can be cool to watch the Turtles get powered up and maybe do some more anime-like moves, and maybe this is just me spitballing here, maybe this is a sign of some good things to come, because instead of crossing them over with anime characters or other comic book characters or whoever, just make a fucking Ninja Turtles anime or manga for that matter. I would love a black and white Ninja Turtles book again. I mean, the color is tight, but I mean, the old school one was in black and white. And if you want to put it as what some people colloquially here in the States call backwards books, you can put them in the Japanese style manga format of reading, and I would be all with it. I mean, the Turtles are essentially quote unquote Japanese in the sense that they are ninjutsu, they're not Chinese. So, a manga style or an anime style of Ninja Turtles would be primo. Now, I think out of any Turtles fans, and and obviously if you're an anime fan, that's what you would really want and would prefer over like a crossover. I mean, at least if you had the option, would you rather have an original Ninja Turtles manga and anime over like, hey, who do you want to see the Ninja Turtles hang out with next? Right? In a weird way, I don't want to say it sounds like desperate, but it does feel like you're trying to keep a sense of relativity and trying to just make money, right? It's kind of like all these like Fortnite, skins and Call of Duty skins and all that shit where it's like, okay, let's put them on here, get a quick payday and move on with it. And yeah, sometimes that's going to be cool. To each their own. I don't really have any qualms with it, but knowing that there is like a better idea out there that is very easily done. You just gotta make a Ninja Turtles like an anime, like a manga, and run with it. I mean, if you've seen the 03 version of the Ninja Turtles, that's probably the closest you're gonna get to an anime in the artistic style. I think a lot of the animators were from Japan or Korea. I think I remember seeing a lot of Korean names, to be perfectly honest, like on the credits. But even in the sense of the way the story arcs went and the powers went, eventually they were turning into dragons, got all mystical. It was really, really good. The 03 Turtles is probably the best, but I personally would love to see that. I think that would be the flyest thing you could do for the Ninja Turtles. Now, this could be that precursor. There are a lot of artworks, even though you like, why would they, put money out into this? I mean, there are a lot of companies that do that. There are a lot of companies that will create something, test the waters, and then their next project will be a better expansion of what they did. They'll build off of that. I mean, you can kind of probably find some articles about Sonic Frontiers. Most people even kind of knew, hey, this was Sonic's first avenue into open world gaming, and it was, in my opinion, a success in the sense of like, hey, this is not as bad as what I thought initially for an open world Sonic game. They were able to blend his normal gameplay style with a new feature of open world play into something that was kind of cool. There's obviously a little bit more you can do to it, but if I'm remembering right, even one of the creators on that game was like, hey, this is kind of the first step into some new avenues, and in that sense, let's support, let's help things like move on. I mean, it kind of sucks that we don't live in that era where people are a little bit more daring in their creative attempts and they have to kind of do things like this, but what can you say? It's not the 80s. If you know anything about the Ninja Turtles, they were a comic book first, but before they got their cartoon, they were a toy line, or like a guy wanted to make toys of them, but then they were like, oh wait, to really sell these toys, we need a cartoon first. You don't have that kind of era where you can just backtrack, make something to sell something else. Like, it's a little bit different, So sometimes you got to make something. If it works, you'll get more. If it doesn't work, that's the end of it. So when it comes to this, while I hope it is well written, in a weird way, I want to support it just because I'm like, maybe they can give us the Turtles anime manga that I've always dreamed of. That would be Fuego. Now, the opposite side, where you got the Spider-Man and Ultraman, I don't give a shit about Ultraman. Anything I know about Ultraman is from the American version of Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, and that's not shit. So, seeing Spider-Man and Ultraman, it's really just a meme come to life, and, maybe some Ultraman, Super Spider-Man fans will be down for it. Maybe there is something that can be kind of cool and fun with it. Again, the art's not bad, but that one screams more corporate synergy and irrelevancy to me than anything, especially knowing that one is like Marvel and Disney. Turtles, in a weird way, is not technically, but it's IDW, but it kind of falls under DC a little bit, so if you wanted to simplify it. But Spider-Man, on the other hand, we know Disney, Disney Plus has anime on there. They're out here trying to tout that market with their original animes, their original Korean dramas. They're really trying to tout the Asian market, and respect to it. Just do it well. I mean, that's the problem with Disney. They can they cultivate new audiences, they give you something, and then they kind of let it down, like the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. I remember when we first were seeing those movies, they're like, oh, Disney's gonna get a little more PG-13, a little more gangster, all right, for sure. And then they shit the bed on that way before, the Johnny Depp scandal and just all that nonsense. But in the end of the day, with Spider-Man and Ultraman, I'm just a little like on it. Whereas the Turtles, Naruto's, I mean, the art is fire. I'll be real. I'm excited to see what they do and hope that they put some respect on the Turtles' name. Again, when Turtles were hanging out with Batman, as tight as it was, and I think it's a good debate. Put it in the comments if you want. But I do believe the Turtles can handle Batman a lot better than what they show. Yes, Batman is that nigga, but the Turtles are also that nigga. I mean, the only thing that Batman has on them is maybe age. I mean, the Turtles are young, so there's, I guess, that mental capacity. But I always think about it like, the Turtles have basically been training in ninjutsu since like day one. I mean, like, they've more or less been raised to be ninjas, so their lack of skills or their ease, rather, I don't think they would be getting murked so easily as what it was kind of shown in the movie. The only one that really kind of seemed like would be hanging, obviously besides Splinter, was Leonardo, and even Batman was like, I'm injured, which was fucking hilarious. But nonetheless, I don't want to see the Turtles be jobbers. I don't want to see the Turtles just get murked just to show you how strong other characters are. Like, that's some bullshit. People need to put respect on the Turtles' names. And hopefully they do. And if they do, like I said, maybe it can lead to something good. But in the end of the day, this is definitely more about money, getting new fans, and staying relevant, whether it's for comic books or even for Naruto. I mean, the fact that they're going back to the old school Naruto kind of says a lot too. But who knows, in the end, it's not the worst idea. I don't want to say it's bad or, it's, this and that and, all the other conspiracy theories about what it is and whatnot. It's kind of a cool idea, but it's also kind of a easy idea. And if done right, maybe it can be entertaining. I think if you're a fan of both, you won't hate it. But if you're, maybe a bigger fan of one, you're going to have a side eye at it. Like, why? If you're a big Naruto fan, you're going to be like, why are you hanging out with the Turtles? Just because they're ninjas? And if you're a big Turtles fan, you're going to be like, how the fuck are they getting to the Hidden Leaf Village? From New York. So it's going to be interesting. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think it's tight? Do you think the Turtles are going to be jobbers? Do you think they're going to put respect on their name? Do you think the Turtles can handle Batman, solo dolo, each on their own, or do they need all four or two to be Batman? Let me know your thoughts on that. I am a little curious, but you know what it is. Jabberjaw's in the booth, Vuglar Desperado on the mic, and we will catch you on the next one. Deuces.